today we are going to start chapter 6 of your macroeconomics, that is AD and its component. As we also earlier discussed that AD in macroeconomics we take aggregates like aggregate demand, aggregate supply, aggregate income, etc. Okay. So we will study aggregate demand and its component. So what is aggregate demand? As in micro you have studied about individual demand like demand of a person or a consumer, but if we add up all these individual demand, then we will get a aggregate schedule of demand, that is called aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is the sum total of expenditure that the people plan to incur on the purchase of goods and services produced in the economy during an accounting year. It means that the expenditure on goods and services done by the consumer in the economy during an accounting period of time or during an accounting year, that is called aggregate demand. As demand means we normally say that demand for goods and services, but physical quantity of goods and services is not possible to count. Okay, it is not possible to count physical quantity of goods and services. That's why we take the expenditure on the goods and services that consumer done in a year. That is aggregate demand. Normally it is studied with aggregate demand, we study with the income, and also with the price level. General price level means we also can count aggregate demand by taking prices of goods and services, general price of goods and services. But in your syllabus we will study AD with the income only. Okay. So what is AD? AD is the sum total of expenditure done by the consumer in an accounting year. I hope you got the meaning of AD. Okay. So in AD we are saying the expenditure on goods and services. We take the consumption expenditure, okay, consumption expenditure, and the investment expenditure, okay, investment expenditure, consumption expenditure and investment expenditure. Okay, so we can also say that AD is equal to C plus I. C means consumption expenditure and I means investment expenditure. Now we will study that AD schedule showing the relationship between income and AD. As in this table you can see that when income is 0, the AD means aggregate demand is 30. It means that if there is nothing income, then also there is somewhat consumption. Consumption cannot be 0 because to survive we have to consume something. For that consumption is will be somewhat, like here it is 30 when income is 0, but when income is 20 then AD is 35, when income is 40 then AD is 40, when income is 60 then AD is 45, when income is 80 then AD is 50. It means whenever income is increasing then consumption is also increasing, but increase in AD aggregate demand is less than the increase in income. Okay, the table showing, or we can call this AD aggregate demand schedule, this showing the relationship between income and the aggregate demand. In aggregate demand we include both consumption and investment expenditure. Now we will study the diagram of aggregate demand. Okay, diagram of aggregate demand. We will make diagram on the basis of this table. On o-axis we will take On O-axis we will take, on O-axis we have taken income, and on OY-axis we have taken AD. Okay. On horizontal income and on vertical axis AD. AD means C plus I, that is consumption expenditure and investment expenditure. Y is our income line, that is showing that when income is 0, then consumption is something that in table you can see that is 30. Okay. E point is the point where consumption and income both are equal. It means here the income and consumption both are equal, but after this E point the income is increasing but the consumption also increasing, but that is less than the income. Okay. Income is positive sloping line, consumption is also, but consumption increasing, consumption is less than income, then consumption is downward from the income line. Okay. E point is the point of equilibrium. Okay. E point is equilibrium point, that where Y and C both are equal. Okay. This is our AD concept. We have studied that meaning of AD, then schedule of AD, then diagram of AD. Watch the video and also read from your book. Any doubt, query, you are free to ask. Thank you, students.